Let's talk about money. Now, a lot of people feel like it's a taboo. We can't talk about money. You shouldn't ask. Here's the thing, you're coming to work and primarily for money, right? And there are many other reasons why somebody stay at a company. The first thing that really attracts us is the pay a lot of the time. The companies that don't want you to talk about money, it's the company that's paying one person a dollar more or $2 more than you, and this other person is getting screwed basically out of pay. We talk about money here. We talk about money so much that sometimes I announce who makes the most just so we know who to sit next to if we find ourselves at a bar. All right, so we pay by job ticket hours, also referred to as allowed hours. Now, if you haven't heard of that, let me explain it. Each house is assigned amount of time based on a new person's speed. So being new, if you went into a 4 hour house, it should take you 4 hours, give or take 15 minutes. Now, being seasoned, you're able to do that same 4 hour house in 3.5, sometimes 3 hours. If you do a 4 hour house in 3 hours, how much do you think you get paid for? You still get paid for 4 hours. So we have two identical houses in this example. They're the exact same house. They're both assigned 4 job ticket hours. This person takes 4 hours. They make $88. This person takes 3 hours. They still made $88. But the difference is because this person worked more, they only averaged $22 per hour, whereas this person only took 3 hours. They still got paid for four. They averaged $29.33 per hour. We do not believe in penalizing our team members for being efficient. There's nothing worse than going to work, finishing your entire assignment for the day, and you know that if you leave early, you're going to be paid less. Think about it. Think about the place where you work now or places you've worked in the past. If you went in for an 8 hour shift and you got all your work done in 3 hours and you left in 3 hours, you would only be paid for 3 hours, although you got 8 hours of work done. So here's the beauty of it. We have three tiers of this. So level one is what I just showed you. If you work 29 job ticket hours or under, you're getting $22 per hour. Level two are rock stars, over 29 but under 35 hours, you're getting $24 per hour. And level three, which is this is kind of blocked there. Level three are MVPs, are under 35 and over, they're making $26 per hour. So you can see level one, the average pays anywhere from 450 to 635. Level two, 695 to 840 weekly. And level three, 910 to 1100 weekly. We pay weekly here, we do not pay bi-weekly. Now, here's a bonus tier that we have. Once you have 30 allowed hours, also referred to as job ticket hours, and you have no quality issues for that week, and you had no attendance issues. What is attendance issue? Not necessarily you being out on a pre-scheduled time. Basically, anytime you're sick, you call out sick last minute, any unexcused absences, or if you refuse a job, you say, hey, I can't do this job. Basically, that's an attendance issue, and it does count against you in our company. So if you don't have any of those, and you have 30 allowed hours, the minimum you'll be paid is $800 for that week. Now, here's the red tape. You're saying, Paul, I knew this was too good to be true. After training, you're going to be on probation for 60 days, and you're only going to receive one house a day. So you should expect to average around 15 to 19 hours per week. And so you're only going to be on level one. You're never going to get enough allowed hours where you're hitting level two and level three. Now, why do we do this? Here's the thing. We don't know you, and we don't know if you're going to be a good fit. Not only that, we want to build up your speed. We want to build up your skill. We want to see if you're reliable and if you're consistent. So this pay usually looks like I said, 450 to 635 a week during that probationary period. And when you're newer, when you're in the front end of that, it's lower. It's more than the 400s. Once you start coming off on the tail end of that 60 days, that's when we start really building up your schedule and it ramps up. Now, why do I show this? It's in the interest of being transparent. I want you to really think about this. Think about it. Say, can I afford to take care of my family for 60 days on level one pay? Does this make sense to my family. And this is before we even get into the government taking your taxes, which we have no control over. Now, take a picture of this. Go ahead. Yeah, you can screenshot it if you're watching this online, or you can just take a picture of it if you're in the office right now. This is basically level one pay. This is under 29 hours. If you, for example, if you worked 4 hours, $22 per hour, you got $88, just like we showed you in the other example. If you took 3.75 hours in that house, it's a 4 hour house, you're averaging 23 to 46, so on and so forth. If you took 3 hours, you're averaging 29.33 hours. Now, if you took 2 hours in a 4 hour house, we're probably going to call you and say, "What's going on?" This is really super fast. So make sure you're not taking advantage of the system, because if somebody does go and clean your home, they automatically get half of that if they have to go back and re-clean it. Common pay questions we get asked. So, what happens if I have a child sick and I got to call out for the day? Well, we're sensitive to the fact that children get sick. I have four babies of my own. The good news is, even if you're absent one day, you can still potentially, can't speak today, earn your way through recovering lost wages during that day. If you're intentional throughout the remainder of the week and you're really asking for hours, and you're taking on extra houses, that day shouldn't really affect you. Hourly cleaning rates are still one of the highest hourly rates of our industries. The other question: is it possible to work on a team and still make higher effective hourly pay? Yes. If your home requires two or more assigned cleaning techs, then it's fair to say additional hours have been added on to account for the two people. What happens if a client calls and cancels last minute? Now, the real good news is this doesn't happen often, especially to our top performers. And when it does, the total sum of all wages earned is designed to be fantastic pay still. What if it consistently takes longer to clean a house than the assigned hours? When conditions change in a home and more time is required, or if circumstances warrant a rate evaluation, we'll consider raising the job hours to reflect the correct amount of time needed. You're encouraged to consider any tasks that may be completed for a client outside the normal scope of what we offer. So make sure that a client's not adding things on that isn't necessarily on there. Will we pay for mileage or gas during the allowed hour pay? Well, mileage pay goes away because essentially it's been rolled into the higher income. We have team members that total time clocked in, which we do track. The total time clocked in is usually on average 29, on the high end, $29 dollars per hour. On the low end, being new, including your drive time, it's usually around $18 per hour. Right. So I'm talking about a new person fresh off of training all the way to the top person. So, and we've seen it fluctuate even higher.